Ralph, how are you doing?
Thank you, fine.
Good, good. Can we just start off with any early team news for Monday, if you have any?
Um, yeah, I don't have any news. So I think all the guys, they have been injured. They will, yeah, maybe Yanni Westergaard maybe is an option for us, but the rest is not available, I think, still injured.
Just reflecting on the Everton game, you're frustrated after the game only to pick up a point, but is that a sign perhaps of how far Southampton have come, that you go to Goodison Park, pick up a point and think we could have got more out of that?
Frustrating is not the wrong word, I think. I could see this development that we don't lose such games, because in the past we sometimes lost, although we have been the better team in some tight moments when we got the equalizer. What I definitely was missing in the second half was the killer instinct to finish this game with creating all the chances we had also in the second half. So we, in some moments, calmed the game down too much, in my opinion, and this was the reason why today we showed the guys about how much opportunities we have had yesterday to win this game, and finally we didn't take it, and this must be the next step in our development, and we score 3, 4, 5 times against such an opponent because they give us the opportunities to do it.
I'm sure you're aware, Matt Letizia and James Beattie are the only Southampton players who have scored 20 goals or more in a Premier League season. You've got Danny Ings currently on 19. Can you just put into context how big an achievement it would be for Danny Ings to get 20 Premier League goals?
You must ask him how big this would be for him. But I think it is not that big for him. I think it would be more or bigger for him if the team comes under the top 10, for example, or even higher if it's possible. So this would be because he's an absolute team player, and all the things he does on the pitch is making the team winning. And I think I've never seen a more professional guy in a moment like he is, and he deserves to score so much because he's our first defender, sometimes our center midfield player, and sometimes our striker who scores. So he's everything on the pitch, and this is what I demand from every player. Everybody can take responsibility on every position he plays, and in our shape, when they exactly know what they have to do, then it is important to do this.
Has he surprised you at all?
Yesterday or at all?
No, just generally.
Generally.
The season he's had.
I must say that it is definitely a good signal that he stays fit, and he also can play now 3 games a week. So we have an intense time now, and I never sub him even in the end of the game, because he looks very fit in a moment. He knows that he had to invest a lot if you want to be a successful striker, and he definitely changed a few behaviors of going more deep, not having the ball so often in his feet. And it's not a coincidence that he scores so much, and he's really hungry. He really enters the box at any time. In any option, even if he plays the pass in the midfield, he's short time later he's in front of the box, and it's not a coincidence this guy scores so much in the moment.
Final one from me, Ralph. VAR again in the headlines yesterday. I'm sure you're bored of talking about this, but is there maybe an idea you have that maybe how they could change the system in the future to make it better so that there's not so many arguments about it?
To be honest, I don't know what the discussion is about. What was exactly the discussion about the VAR?
So yesterday there was the Bruno Fernandes penalty against who did they play? Completely forgotten. Aston Villa. The James Ward-Prowse's penalty. There was a bit of controversy about that as well. And Harry Kane was pushed in the area and was not given a penalty.
Yeah, I think in the penalty decisions, it's always a human decision. So it will always have guys who say yes, guys who say no. I think it's important that the referee on the pitch makes the decision. And if he sees that it's clear wrong, he should change it if he had another look on it. Nobody else, because he rules the game. He knows what level he sets in the game of giving the foul or giving it not. and then he can decide if it was a clear mistake or not. When it's not a clear mistake, and the first thing he saw was the decision he took, then you should stay with it. And I think this is the easiest way is to go to the screen and watch again. And yeah, I'm a big fan from the VAR, to be honest. We always speak about the few moments where we discuss about penalty or not. We don't speak about all the right decisions that the VAR took so far. We never speak about that. Yeah? But this is the game for the referees. You know, this is their life. Yeah, you always speak about them when they're not good. When they are good, nobody feels it, because they are fantastic. Yeah, and to be honest,
would you like to see them look at the screens a bit more, though? You mentioned the screens there.
Maybe yes, sometimes. We have time. We can edit in the end. So they should take the time. Yeah? When it's really a difficult decision, or when they get a message it's not so clear, have a look on it. Go there. We will take this. Huh? It's even better he makes the decision than somebody else, I think. And I was always a fan of going there, taking the decision. Gives me the chance to coach. Meanwhile, by the way, it's also helpful. So do it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Oh. Even bigger.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Just on Danny Ings, how much of your style of play is helping his goal-scoring form?
I don't know. I think the whole team is working against the ball. The whole team is working with the ball to help him scoring. So every run he does not for himself. He does it for the team, and the team every run they do it for winning as a team. And it's not so interesting who scores, to be honest. And when we like to speak about the guy who scores. We don't see the guys who running deep and to create the space for Ingsy to score. So this is for me sometimes even, I wouldn't say more important, but the same importance for me. And this was exactly the message I sent today, that we sometimes must make these unselfish runs to give them to give Ingsy a chance to score, to give Shea a chance to score. And when we don't do it, nobody will score. And this is then not so interesting who does it.
Manchester United are obviously in a rich vein of form at the moment. Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood's in red-hot form. How do you stop them? And will your players relish playing at Old Trafford, given the form that you've been in?
Absolutely fantastic team. And they have, in the moment, an unbelievable run. And this is exactly what we like the most, because then we can see how good we are, and we can go in this challenge and be competitive against such an opponent. This is exactly the challenge we need if we want to get better. We need the challenges against such teams. Like, we can learn a lot. I think against the Man City, and Man City was also a game where we learned a lot, how good they are in possession and what they can do. And we need these games. If you're I one time said, if you want to be a lion, then you have to fight with lions. And I think this is exactly what we are looking for. We want to have this battle against these teams, and this is especially in the Premier League. And they are in the moment really strong, yes.
Your team is obviously on the front foot at the moment. How far away do you think you are from having a team that is regularly challenging for a European position?
Well, we don't care about this position in the moment. We look on our game and we see all the things we still can develop, and we have exactly in possession made some good progress really in the last weeks, and this development convince us for being on the right way, but until being in the European spots, it's a long way to go. We don't it doesn't make sense to think about it. It makes more sense to think about things you really can change from one day to the next one. And this is all the energy we use for this.
Thanks, Ralph. Nice to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, we'll go to Adam Blackmore at Radio Solent. I'm just trying. You've got two profiles on here, Adam, so I'm going to promote them both and hope for the best.
Yeah,
Again now.
Ralph, can you hear me?
Adam!
Good
How are you?
afternoon. Finally, get to talk to you.
It's good.
Oh,
Nice to hear you.
there? Okay, nice to see you too.
Yeah.
I thought against Manchester City, it was probably one of the best performances without the ball your team has shown. Against Everton last night, I was loving the play with the ball in the first half, particularly. If you get it right on both sides of the ball for 90 minutes, you're going to be some team, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. We have to be that good against the ball against Man City. And yesterday, if you want to take something there, you also have to be in possession better. And I think the first half, we didn't build a lot up from the behind, so we went for playing in their half football, and this we did in a very aggressive way and in a very chances creating oriented way. So this is something that we are really focused on in the moment. And in the second half, I didn't like it so much because we lost it a little bit and stayed too much in possession, and then it was a little bit slower at all. But definitely the first half in possession, we had some unbelievable good movements, and especially in the red zone, we have been very flexible, and yeah, it was nice to watch. I agree.
Yeah, I give Carlo Ancelotti for some of the changes in the second half. But with regards your motivation as a team at the moment, your players, the level they're playing at, the intensity, for a team that is effectively safe, not playing for Europe, where is that desire coming from? Where is it built from?
Oh, I think you know better than anybody else about our history in this season, and if you have such a difficult time, I think you have to enjoy when it is going in the opposite direction, and maybe there's nothing more beautiful for a player that you can play in a team that is like to win, and that is in a good mode, and feels that what they are doing can give them the chance to take wins. And in the moment, it seems that teams, they are good organized and tactical, performing well, have without the crowd, without emotions, with more coaching on the pitch, a little advantage. And we combine in the moment this more on organization, because we can speak more with each other, and a very good fitness at all, and still the hunger to reach more and get more points. It's a very good combination, and also the fixtures are very interesting for us. All teams, they really like to play football. They give us challenges. They have quality, and so we can really develop ourselves, and we do it in a wide, concentrated way.
And Manchester United will also try and play football. Sometimes that can work to your advantage. Are you confident you can go there and give them more trouble than some teams have recently?
No, hopefully yes. It's tough to play against such a team. We had the last time there a fantastic game. We lost in the end 3-2. It was also one of the best performances from our side in the away game. So we like to have this challenge. As I said, the better the team, the more you can learn, and go there and be brave and find the right decisions. We will start today with looking on the opponent. They are fantastic and very strong in the moment. And who wins against Man City doesn't have to be scared about or playing against Man United.
If I can just ask one last question, please. Jose Mourinho was very complimentary about Kyle Walker-Peters yesterday, and said they wouldn't stand in his way if he wanted to play football every week somewhere else, effectively. How much is he impressing you with regards to his future beyond this season?
I don't know. To be honest, we definitely are waiting until the season is over to give any decision for every player. We know that we have some loan players that are coming back, and we know that we have 2 loan players that we have to decide what to do with them. We haven't decided yet. We don't want to give them the pressure to say yes or no or whatever. We want them to develop as good as possible, as can show up until the last game, and then we can decide if we want to have them or not.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Adam. We will move on to the section embargoed for 10:30 this evening. Just a reminder, if you have a question for this section, just to raise your hand. We'll go to Dan Sheldon at the Echo to start off with.
Thank you, Jordan. Afternoon, Ralph. If I could start in, you picked the same team at Everton that you did against Man City. I think United will be your 5th game in just 18 days, but given the run the team are on, are you almost reluctant to make changes, or will there be a point where you'll have to make changes just to give some of the guys a rest?
I'm quite intense looking on them, how they are and how they feel, and during the game also always in relationship with them to see how they feel. It was clear for me that we have to be fit for this intense time, and this was the message in the lockdown. And I'm very impressed about their fitness at all in the moment. I have not the feeling. I don't have the feeling that they struggle or have problems with injuries. Hopefully that stays. And the rest is taking the best possible team in the moment on the pitch, because we want to win, and we want to win the last 4 games if it's possible. And that doesn't mean that they are young or the other lads don't get a chance to play, because we have next week it will be more difficult, because we have only 2 games between every game, and this is quite short period to recover. So that is then more likely, I think, that we change. On Monday, it's quite possible that we play another time with the same team.
As a manager, are they the conversations you dread having with your players, especially when you're in such a rich vein of form that you've got to say, well, actually, sorry, you can't play? Are they always the most difficult ones?
I have, in a moment, use all my time and my energy to analyze our games and have individual meetings with some players, because not every player plays on the highest level in the moment, and then we must develop every player, and this is the job I have to do, and because when we want to win something against Man United, then we have to have 11 players on the highest level.
Thank you.
Dan, we'll go to Tom Barkley. Tom.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
I want to ask you about Mason Greenwood. You're a big advocate of developing young players. It's what you want to do at Southampton. He's someone who's just looked absolutely fantastic in the last few games. What have you made of him? And generally, England's young players, there seem to be. You look at, you played against Phil Foden last week. There seems to be a real. I don't want to use the phrase golden generation, because in England we don't like that phrase. We put too much pressure on with that phrase. But there seems to be a real. A group of potentially world-class talents at the moment coming up at England.
Yeah, I think this run of talents, it's not only, I think, a symbol for England. I think also in Germany and other countries. In all the countries, they built these academies and this development of the young players with the coaches in these academies. I think it's getting better and better, and it's not so one-dimensional. It's multi-dimensional. I think this development in the end makes the better players, and I think it's a bit praise for all the trainers, all the coaches that are working here, all the managers in the youth. They are doing quite a good job, and it's not a coincidence. Nothing in the world comes by the way. So you have to work on this, and I think they do a quite good job, and this is the reason why you get so much talent in the moment growing up here, and they get physically stronger if they have the right mindset. I think this is always the most important thing, yeah. And they don't want to be too quick, too big. I think then you have a lot of possibilities in England to become a very good football player.
And Greenwood himself, what have you made of him so far?
Yeah, to be honest, I have seen the goals and a few more good scenes. I was not focusing that much. I start now looking at the opponent because I was coming home yesterday very late at 4 o'clock. I think we have been here, so And I had to watch on our game, and now after the press conference, when it doesn't take too long, I start to analyze the opponents.
Can I just ask, when it comes to signing new players, how important is it that you don't stifle the young talent coming through at your club? You've got to really think about which players you sign, because there's been a lot of talk about Man United being after Jadon Sancho, a player you know well. When you were at Leipzig, you said you were interested in him at the time before he went to Dortmund. But the way Greenwood's going, maybe United fans would worry that his progress might be stifled by a new signing. So how important is it when you're planning to make sure no signings get in the way of young players coming through?
Yeah, the first thing is you have to scan your own academy, what quality you have and what you missed, and it's never in every club that you have on every position fantastic players in the youth. This will not be. And if you have a problem on one position, then you must focus on this position, and then you don't block anybody. Yeah, but yeah, it's right. If you have, for example, two good young sixers in your squad, and you don't want to block them, and it's not really helpful if you set them one in front and then say, okay, now you have to beat him or be better than him. I think it's easier than to give him the chance to play and show up. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have any pressure. Everybody has to be performing well, and in the end, as a young player, you get your chances, but not endless chances, and you don't grab it immediately. Then it can be quick over also. So we try to build them up slowly, give them a few minutes there, a few minutes there, and when you see that he is still with both feet on the ground and is keen to work and keen to learn and open-minded, then we think we can develop every player. And in the moment, it seems that all the players are in a good way.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Harry Platt at the Star.
There you are. Hold on. Nearly there. Here we are, Rob. Sorry. Good afternoon. Rob, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, have we underestimated him as a manager?
In the beginning, not, because in the beginning he was winning all the games.
Well, I know he had a very good start, didn't he? With the
exactly.
Yeah.
And then it was the opposite immediately. Yeah? So it's a little bit special for the medias all around the world. So this is a problem in our business, but it's more important that he's convinced about what he's doing, and in the moment he proves all the experts that they were wrong. Yeah? So this is fantastic turnaround he made with his team. I think the signing in the winter with Fernandes helped him massively, absolutely, because the team looks completely different, organized and everything. But I think still the big challenges are to come. So it's in such a club always important that you don't have a good 100-meter record, that you need a record for the marathon run. So it's to be successful in such a team, you have to develop your game every day, the whole season. Never stop learning, never stop developing, never stop winning, because a win is normal and losing is always a disaster. And this is the challenge these guys have in these teams, and it's not quite easy. And I think he does a good job in them.
Okay, and with regards to this last sort of, or the resumption of the news, the season, there's been a lot of talk about it being like a tournament football, and obviously you're talking about having 3 games a week, and your players have obviously revelled in the situation and enjoyed it and relished it. I was wondering, how much have you enjoyed having such a concentrated patch of games and having to, you haven't needed to bounce back from many poor performances, but the momentum, how much do you enjoy that as a coach?
Much, very much. As you know, we had a very, very long break, maybe the longest we had ever have. And then you are hungry to step back on the pitch, miss the players, working with them. We had a lot of time to analyze the last season. We had a lot of time to work on this. Our playbook is massive and give us a good overview what we had done right, what we have done wrong, and then we knew exactly what we have to work on. And I think you don't very often have such a opportunity, and we grabbed with both hands, and I'm really happy that we had this chance, and I enjoy this intense time always, because it's our philosophy, and we want to do it.
I mean, I'm just sort of on the follow-up of that. People have compared it to like an international tournament. Is that something, I appreciate a long way down the road, that you would like to do international management one day? If you ever got, no, but it's something to consider, like that sort of tournament football?
Yeah, if you think about that, it's very similar. I think we had 2 or 3 weeks pre-season, and then you go in a very tough 6 or 8 weeks. It depends how long it takes. Yeah, I enjoyed it. That's right. Yeah, I haven't looked at it from that side, to be honest. But at first, you have to qualify for a big tournament. Yeah, so this is normally a little bit more difficult, this is not such an interesting period. I think if you have 8 games the whole year, or 10, this is quite not so.
So you can feel for the likes of Gareth Southgate not having. He must be getting very frustrated at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
His time.
You're always waiting for playing games with your team, and you cannot do it, and this is really frustrating. And maybe there comes the moment where you don't want to have 60 games a year, and then it's good to step back if you want, or to
okay. So something for further down the road.
I think further down the road.
Okay, thank you. All right, cheers.
We'll go to Carl at The Athletic.
Hello, Carl.
Hi, Ralph. Less stats from me today.
No, it's interesting, your stats. I proved you wrong in the last one, so come with the next one.
I'd like to talk to you about Stuart Armstrong. He seems to be playing a little bit more centrally now, like Kyle Walker-Peters is going on the right-hand side. Is this a new adaptation from your playbook?
I must say I was very positive surprised about him when he was coming back after his injury now. Definitely played a fantastic game, and especially our right side is with the very good performance of Kyle Walker-Peters in the last game, was much more in the game than our left side in the last game. So this helps him, because with Kyle we have a guy now on the side that offers him a little bit more opportunities to go inside, and he's always this is his best position. He likes this. They can come around in the red zone and finishing, or yesterday try to finish and then make a perfect assist for Ings. No, I was very, very happy with his performance. Definitely.
You previously spoke about Armstrong's strength dribbling on his left foot. Is this something you're working on in training at the moment?
He works on this stuff, absolutely. He tries to finish with both legs. He has a good finish. I think he's scored now 2 or 3 times with his left foot, although he's a right footer. So it's coming inside. It's good on the side that you have both feet, and you also can go on the left, and it makes you a little bit hard to read for the opponent, and this is good.
I'd also like to talk about some other names that may have been turned up to training. Are there any other under 23 players or academy players currently training with the youth team?
Yeah, we have in the moment, especially when we have after game sessions like today, we have all the young lads in the session. We try to bring them together. We try to give them the chance to work with us. This is good, because then we can develop them a little bit better and give them a chance to play with the first team players.
When there are no real games for the young players at the moment, is this sort of your way of making sure they stay integrated and keep up with everyone else?
Yeah, quite tough situation, absolutely, because you cannot keep them or hold them on the same level like the guys are playing every weekend. It's definitely always difficult, but yeah, we try to offer them good sessions, and when you have an intense session here in this team, then you normally have sometimes less time than on a Premier League game. So we are so aggressive in the sessions also that you have to be quick in your mind. You have to find quick decisions, and this is very helpful for the young players especially.
I hope you are hungry and keep hunting on Monday. Good luck.
Thanks, Carl. We'll go to Robert at Hampshire Live.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
You just asked there about Stuart Armstrong, and you said about him coming back from injury. I wanted to ask you about Nathan Redmond. Obviously, he had the injury prior to lockdown. He's come back and has been playing every game. How impressed have you been with his performances? And are you looking at his physical being at the moment in terms of how he's coping with, the like you said, the heavy schedule of games?
I think with Reddy is after the injury, he had some good halves where he really played well, scored good against Norwich, started well after his injury. Had to work a lot against the ball, and sometimes when he then doesn't have enough finishing or enough shooting on the box or scoring opportunities, he's not then really happy with his performance. And he's an offensive player. He likes to be valuable for the team, scoring for the team. And when he doesn't do it, then he's never happy at all. But it's normal that after the break that he has to find back the rhythm and everything. So I think he's still not in the best shape in the moment, but we have to do everything that he comes back, because he's a very important player for us. Especially when he has the ball, he has some qualities that really helps us. But for this, we must play him always in the perfect position. We are working a lot with this. We are talking a lot. I have now a meeting for him, and I must again find the way to bring him in the best for us, best position that he helps us the most.
Is it therefore a bit unfortunate that the timing of the injuries for Sofiane and Musa at the moment, because you haven't been able to perhaps rotate as much in that position?
Yes, that's right. Musa is out and Sofiane is out, so we have lost two tens. So it's important that we stay fit. The guys must have always a very demanding job to do, not only physically, also mentally and tactically. So we don't have so many alternatives in the moment. Will Smallbone can play there also. It's not his best position, but he can do it. And then we have normally Nathan Teller and Will Ferry. Nathan's also injured. So we have a few problems also with injuries, but in the moment we can handle it quite well. And we must improve, and that's what we do.
Can I just ask for an update on Sofiane and Musa? Are we likely to see them before the end of the season?
Quite tough, I think. Unlikely, but let's have a look. Maybe they come back quicker than before.
Thanks, Ralph.
We'll finish up with the last question from Tom at the Sun.
Sorry, Ralph. One more. Just wanted to ask. United against Aston Villa became the first Premier League team in history to win 4 games in a row by 3 clear goals. They're clearly in fantastic form. It's arguably the hardest fixture anyone can have right now, going to Old Trafford. But having said that, you got a clean sheet against Manchester City last penultimate game. So how much confidence does that give you going into, as I say, perhaps the hardest game you could possibly have right now?
Yeah, as you said, what can you lose then? You can only win. Everybody thinks they do it again, and they will show us how strong they are. And this is exactly what we need to face, and to have that challenge is what we like the most. This is exactly what we want to have. Everybody knows that they're strong in the moment, and we go there, and we have a not so bad away record this season. I think we showed some really good games there, and we like to have this challenge. And even if it's the 3rd game now in the week, we play on Monday. Both teams have one day more to take a rest. Big game on Monday evening. Everybody can enjoy this game, and we will, absolutely.